It's the Britt Rochelle Show. Do, do, do. Have you ever wanted to play a video game that's just as fun and nostalgic as it is immensely and horribly frustrating? Crash Bandicoot's the game for you. This 3D platformer follows Crash Bandicoot, the aptly named Bandicoot, who's been experimented on by the evil Dr. Neo Cortex, who, after a failed vortex experiment, runs out of a window, crashes to the shores of Insanity Beach, and now must navigate his way through the Wumpa Islands to make his way back to the lab in order to save his girlfriend Tana and stop Neo Cortex from experimenting on other creatures. Sorry, Dr. Neo Cortex. So touchy. You're occasionally joined by your good Tiki Mask friend Aku Aku, who, when you get one of him, he acts as extra hit points. If you get up to 3 of him, he makes you invincible, acting as a perfect shield so you can just ram your way through enemies like nobody's business. Heh! 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 Can't touch me. I'm invincible. Wow! Which is probably one of the best aspects of this game, seeing as Crash is so sensitive. If you just get too close to the edge of a ramp or a hair's length away from the tip of a turtle's tail, you're dead. It's game over. Sorry, buddy. Armed with the wonderful abilities of jump, spin, and move, you'll make your way through the Wumpa Islands, the beaches, some labs, even a haunted house at some point, and work your way through some fun and exciting bosses. Some definitely harder than others. Crash Bandicoot was one of my absolute favorite games growing up, so when the reskin was released, I was extra excited, thinking I was in for a fun and nostalgic, just one-way playthrough. I did not give it its due credit, as I completely forgot how frustrating and hard that game can be. I think one of the levels that took me the longest to get through was easily, I call it the haunted house level. It's when you're working your way up to Neo Cortex's lab, so I guess it's more outside the castle type deal. And it's slippery, it's wet, one wrong move and you're literally down to the bottom where you started and have to work all your way up. There's not many save points, it's just frustrating. The time trials were interesting, though. It was nice to get fun bonus points for making your way through your first go in a good amount of time, replaying it to see if you can't beat your first time. And if you're really good, and maybe even a little lucky, you can go through and get the Ankhs, the fun Egyptian symbols that give you access to secret levels. One thing that didn't change from the original to the reskin were the controls. I thought myself something fancy having a brand spanking new PS5, only to be brought right back to my 8-year-old self struggling with the PS1 controller, wondering why the heck Crash won't jump when I tell him to jump, or his spin was delayed. It happens sometimes. At least they didn't reskin the whole thing, right? Exploring the Wumpa Islands is one of the most fun and dynamic experiences that I've personally experienced in gameplay. It's got a lot of fun colors, everything's real bright, or when you get to the darker levels, it's still kind of very sinister and I'd say Scooby-Doo-ish, but making it very fun as it is also spooky. The score of the game is also very fun and it's very energetic, very poppy, lots of like little techno beats, and as you get into the darker levels, of course it gets darker and more sinister, and it's all really fitting. Even when you get down to fighting the Rat Mafia. That's an aspect I definitely forgot about, but was still a fun inclusion into the game. Throughout the game, you're on a mission to save your girlfriend Tana, as well as the other creatures, but mostly Tana, as you get teased by little secret levels that you can get extra boxes and Wumpa fruits from, and just at the end is Cortex, Dr. Cortex, whisking Tana away just before you can save her. After playing through the main game as Crash, you get to play as a spunky little bratty kid sister, Coco. Purely a cosmetic change, as the moveset is exactly the same, but still fun and adorable nonetheless. Dr. Neocortex looks a little too much like Charles Manson for my taste, but hey, it works out for his evil design, I suppose. Assisted by Dr. N. Brio, his Igor kind of counterpart who assists him in all his experiments. There's also a lot of fun antagonists like Ripperoo, the psychotic, swirly-eyed kangaroo equipped with a straitjacket who just bounces around and your goal is to not get hit by him. Dynamite's your friend in that boss level. Pro tip. Each antagonist seems like it comes out of its own little cartoon, like Pinstripe, the leader of the Rat Mafia, and it really shows the expansive differences between the different factions of the Wumpa Islands. Patience and paying attention is certainly key in succeeding with this game. Because you might get a little cocky like I did at the beginning, thinking, oh, this old school platformer, I think I'm just going to get through this in a day. And no, you definitely have to harness your reflexes, pay attention to your surroundings, and learn with the game as it ramps up the difficulty of certain levels. I think one of the hardest ones easily took me one of the longest to get through, other than the end part. Earlier in the game, you go across this bridge, and there's different rickety parts of the bridge that you fall through, and straight up holes, and even a wombat-looking or warthog-type boss that just chases after you like a dog, and he's adorable, and you can't hurt him, so you have to avoid him. And if, again, too close to one of those boards, and you just fall through and you have to start way back at the beginning, and that's when you definitely want to stop and wait. But also, speed up when needed. It's a tricky level. Just use your wits and pay attention. This is a life system based game, as while it's really easy to get a game over, it's also really easy to avoid, as all you have to do is collect enough Wumpa fruits, the number you want is 100, and you'll gain an extra life. You can also gain lives by opening up those crates, collecting those Wumpa fruits, or just seeing a nice picture of that sassy mug of yours, pick it up and get going. The Wumpa fruits are found in wooden crates, either with the question marks on them, sometimes they'll just have the wooden bars on them. Bouncing up and down in between them is a really fun and efficient way to get them, and they look tasty to boot. These Wumpa fruits are also, for some reason, the size of your head, which is most of your upper torso anyways, so good thing his jaw can unhinge like a snake. Good God. How many of those things you gonna eat, Crash? While Crash Bandicoot may not be as far away from some people as it is for others, it's one of the games that I personally grew up playing, so getting to replay it with a whole new perspective design on it was a whole lot of fun for me. It was nice to get away from the polygonals of the original design and have something a little smoother, a little brighter. And replaying that nostalgia game made me remember, holy crap, there's 2 other games? And a sequel? Sign me up, I'm about to play through the whole damn series. Did you grow up playing Crash Bandicoot? Was it one of your favorite games like it was mine? Let me know in my DMs or on any of my other social platformers. For now, I'm going to rate this 100 Wumpa fruits, because man did this game give me life. I'm Britt Rochelle. I hope you stay peachy. You spin me right round, Crash, right round, like a record, baby, right round, round, round. You spin me right round, Crash, right round, like a go down when you... Ah!